Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. My name is Milad Kambari.
And welcome to the introduction of another add-on from the Blender add-on collection.
It's a very useful and incredibly simple add-on for arranging books and decorative items on our shelves. And let me tell you, you no longer need to arrange books one by one on our shelves. We can do this with just one click. Before I start explaining, let me give you an example first. We just need to select the shelf, the books. I'll explain all of this in more detail later. I'll also select the books and press the Start button. When I press Start, all the books are arranged on the shelves, just like that. Now let's go together and I'll explain to you what these parameters are. I'll press the Clear button to completely clear the bookshelf. The first thing we need to select is the bookshelf itself, so we select our shelf. Next, we need to select our books. You don't need to adjust the scale of your books, just define their orientation. It should be in the exact same direction as you want it to sit on the bookshelf. So I'll click Add. And once we've clicked Add, we can now press the Start button for our bookshelf and add the books to the library. Because this add-on that I've prepared is real-time, any changes you apply here, any adjustments you make in its settings, you can see directly within your scene, within your bookshelf. For example, if I press C, we can randomize the display and distribution of the books, or the offset. For example, if I click Jitter, this deep jitter can determine the depth of the books for us. This is how the depth of the books is defined for us. And if you want to place books on top of your bookshelf, you can add a top shelf. For some models, which I'll show you later, their top shelves are designed so that we need to place the top panel of the bookshelf on them. For example, what kind of bookshelves? Like this one. I'm going to select this one now. And then I'll click the Set Shelf button and hit Start. When I click Start, you'll see it arrange the books in these spots. Now I'll reduce its deep jitter. And here I click Top Shelf. When I click Top Shelf, it also places this top shelf for us. Actually, Top Shelf automatically detects what the last shelf is, and it doesn't arrange items on that shelf for us. But when we check the box, it does arrange them on that shelf for us. Okay, now let's go back to this same bookshelf, and I'll show you another option. I'll hit Start again. The next option we have here is to tilt our books. I can set this to 8, so my books tilt 8 degrees. I'll also remove the top. The books will be tilted like this for me. I can even define how much of the books should be tilted and how many of them should be tilted. The larger the number for the book category, the more books will be tilted for me. Or I can define that the books should all face one direction. See? This way, all the books face one direction and are placed on our shelves like this. The next option is that we can define for the books to rotate 90 degrees. We'll say the books should rotate 90 degrees. Look here, I've set the number for the books here. Look here, I've put the wrong number for the book. When I set it to 1, the book rotates 90 degrees for me like this, so I'll set this to 0. Now we have another option called Flat Stacks. Flat Stacks function is it lays some of the books down on our shelf like this. We can also have books lying flat. And if we click Random, it can arrange these books randomly for us. We can even define the number of books that are supposed to be lying flat. How many books should be lying flat? We can also define the number of these. Since it's random now, we can define how many of these books should be lying flat. And naturally, the more you decrease the n-level number, the more shelves it fills for us with books lying flat. And the more we increase this number, fewer shelves will be filled with books lying flat for us. I've set it to 1 now, and it will place the maximum number of shelves for us here, and it will put books lying flat. It's kind of acting like a percentage. What percentage of our library should have books lying flat? A value of 1 places the highest percentage of books lying flat in the library for us. That's that.
But let's move on to the decorative items. When I check the decorative option, I can apply my decorative elements. You don't need to adjust the scale of your decorative items for the bookshelf. This add-on automatically adjusts these scales. You just need to specify their orientation. This means if you want this model, for example, to be placed in this specific direction in the bookshelf, you must specify its orientation before it's distributed, so it's exactly in that direction.
All right, let's go back then. Now I'll say that these decorative elements should be added as well. We just need to add the decorative item to the Add section. When I click Add, we can automatically see its effect in our library, where it has been placed. Now we can define how many of these decorative items should be present in this library. Naturally, the smaller the number, the more decorative items it will place. And the larger the number, the more... Let me put it this way. The smaller the number, the more decorative items it places, and the larger the number, the fewer decorative items it places in our scene. You can also adjust all its parameters, so you can adjust the directions, distances, and all other settings, and see the results automatically. And finally, when we press the Clear button, it removes all the books that were placed in our library. When we press the Apply button, these books are baked onto this library. If I don't press the Apply button and instead select the next library, I'll select the next library this way and start. When I start, the books are removed from this library and placed into the new one. But when I click the Apply button, this won't happen anymore. Now, watch. I've clicked the Apply button. Now I'll select this bookshelf, set the shelf, and start again. Now the books have been placed in my new bookshelf, and the old bookshelf wasn't deleted. So much for this add-on. Let me also show you this small shelf, how easily it can place items for us. Here we apply it so it stays on this bookshelf. Then I'll select this shelf. Once I've selected the shelf, I'll start again, and it will place the books and decorative items on this shelf for us. I hope this add-on is also very useful for you.